recording. Yay! Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Witches and Wine. This is the show where we talk about witchy stuff and we drink wine. Clink and drink, everybody. Clink and drink.
Mine is still not wine.
Neither is Willow's.
Me neither.
So,
I've done it with, but
as you can see, oh, that's good. You have a wine glass. That's good. Willow's just drinking straight liquor. As you can see, we have. Oh, I like that. As you can see, we are doing the quarantine version. It's most of our coven, not all of them, but most of them are in the comforts of our own homes. And we were just talking about how we're all kind of a mess and non-showered, and you know, this is Witches and Wine quarantine style. So I'm your hostess with the mostest, Lola Stardust. And before we start our topic of discussion, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to my partner in crime, my husband, my soulmate, my love, Silent Stardust. He's going to tell us about the wine.
Now that's my kind of audition or
Introduction.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. So tonight we chose a Bordeaux style blend from here in Washington State. It's from Cadence Vineyards. It's called Coda. It's a Cab Franc dominant red blend with Cab, Sauv, Merlot, and Petit Verdot in it. Out of the Red Mountain region of Washington, which is a very elegant region here. Very dry for a Washington wine. A lot of tannins, a lot of dark and deep fruits. Really, really good. Expect to pay about $30-35 a bottle. And definitely serve it if you're looking for a meal with a roast or a nice big T-bone steak.
Yeah.
Yep.
Steak. We had meatloaf for dinner, so it's kind of a nice little after.
Yep.
Keep that hearty meat. Hearty meat. Let's clink and drink to hearty meat. Hearty meat. Clink and drink. I'm just so glad to be doing a Witches and Wine tonight with some coven members, because lately it's just been me and Silenus and special guests that call in and we record or we do on Skype or whatever. So it's kind of nice to have the band is back together.
anyway, back together.
And Willow's having a hard time there getting situated. Do you need
She's on the move.
She's on the move.
And we're walking.
And we're walking.
Guys.
So tonight's subject is we want to talk about things where comes natural to all of us. The concept of mirth.
Mirth.
Just having fun and laughing and enjoying the silly things in life.
In, of course, the charge of the goddess, there's let there be mirth and reverence within you. And we also, not just in life, but in circle, we have a lot of fun in circle as a coven. It's hard to explain without making us sound like we're just a bunch of, because we're not. I mean, sometimes there are nights when we're like,
Well, it's mirth and reverence. And some nights it's all pure reverence, and some nights it's pure mirth.
And then there's other times when it's a nice little balance. So what we really enjoy is that one of the old covens that me and Willow were in. Oh, by the way, here. Let's introduce our coven members in case people forgot.
Yeah, long time no see.
We got Willow. Wait, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Wave. Raise your hand. Oh my God. And we've got Isleen and Donar. Yay! And then us, of course. You know who we are. Anyway, in an old coven that me and Willow were in, they had a rubber toad on the altar, and I remember one of us or several of us asking what that's for, and it was for those moments when you screw up calling the quarters, or you accidentally start casting the circle in the wrong way, or you completely forgot cakes and ale, or you just get a bout of the giggles, and and so they pointed to that, and I always really appreciated that, because it kind of made me feel like it kind of took that pressure off, because it's called ritual for a reason. It's very ritual. It's, there are certain things we do. There's a structure. So sometimes people get really caught up. Like, I need to do this perfectly because in witchcraft we're so focused on, saying the words right, the intent and all that. And it's the same when you are practicing in circle together.
Mhm.
There's certain ways we do things for very important reasons. And see, it just changed the focus on Isleen and Donar. It went now just to Isleen. That's really weird.
It must mean Isleen has something to say.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, so you guys understand. We have fun in circle, and don't you think it's important to have that moment of it's okay? There, he's back. You guys speak about it. Speak. Anyone? Bueller? You guys are so quiet. Usually,
Especially because we're all human,
Yeah.
and so sometimes your brain decides to go on vacation.
Oh my
And
God.
you know you've got that quarter call memorized, but for whatever reason, you stumble over your words.
Yep.
Yep.
Remember that time when from the very beginning of calling quarters, every single one of us messed up. We called the wrong direction or wrong element. One that we have is our the vanishing circle or the invoking.
Pentagrams, sometimes they're like,
Yeah.
whatever.
We do this a lot. At one point, I think it was Donar that did like a squiggle or something. It was like, puppy, stop.
It was the sign formerly known as Prince.
Yeah, it was that sign. So, but you guys know what I'm talking about. For those of you that have been practicing a long time, don't you think that there's a certain amount of expectation on having it be perfect? And why do you think that is?
I don't know. To me, it's like when you've been married a long time, if you fart during sex, you just keep going. It happened.
You hit a nerve.
So
you just, when you fart during sex, you just pull out a rubber
maybe
toad.
pillow
So,
doesn't.
rubber toad.
No.
I mean, some things I've always wondered, like, okay, Sky Club was going great until someone trusted a fart they shouldn't have.
So, funny story, not that I've ever done that, but one of my, I guess I need to really explain that. Funny, speaking of poop sharding, my drama teacher told a story about when they were in college and they used to do a prank on the freshmen at college where they'd run down the hall and they'd open the door and they'd like pull their pants down and fart in the freshman's room or whatever and run to the next place. But somebody, it wasn't just a fart.
it wasn't gas, it was solid.
Oh my God, welcome freshmen. Anyway, so of course we're talking about poop because that's what happens.
Well,
Here's
it's
the
not,
rubber toad. We're talking about poop, sandwiches, and wine.
it's not like poop jokes are our favorite. They're just a solid number 2.
So, Willow, I want to speak to you about this because I know that sometimes, and you and I have talked about this, and it's you get a little nervous if you feel like you're not doing it correctly, but doesn't it relieve pressure from you when you're able to laugh and make mistakes, and it makes it easier? Stop.
So
Hold on.
it makes it a lot easier. Because like I said before, nobody's perfect. And you get yourself all caught up in the moment, like, okay, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do it right. And it doesn't happen. Nope. And of course, I'm one that goes, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think that there is I think that mirth is a part of what makes everything, I don't know, I can't imagine not having any mirth or not having any fun in circle. Because I think it's about that perfect love and perfect trust that we are able to trust each other and love each other enough where what you do in circle is supposed to happen, right? Like that's what was supposed to happen.
Right.
Any thoughts on the idea?
Well, even
There are
the
lessons.
What?
There are lessons in the laughter.
Yes.
Why did
Yes.
it happen that way? Were you too up in your head that you weren't allowing things to flow naturally, or were you not up in your head enough so you weren't actually focused? Or
maybe that edible
Right.
did work.
That's where you can't tie a knot.
Yeah, don't tie knots.
Anyway.
Well, I think for me, what it reminds me of is that even the gods aren't perfect, and they have fallacies and make mistakes,
Yeah.
and they persevere through it and learn from it. Hopefully, unless you're Zeus, they just keep making the same mistake, animal after animal.
oh, pretty girl.
I think my problem is a lot of people don't take me serious on stuff, and I try to be serious, or I try to do my best because other people say I'm not good enough. And I know I don't get it from you guys, but it's been that way all my life.
Mhm.
So I try to basically maybe overachieve, and it
Mhm.
doesn't work.
Well, and that's where you have to, that's what we try to teach in Circle too, is that you can make mistakes and be yourself, and we love you more for that. You know, it's okay, there's two different schools of thought on coven being family, but the way
Right.
we practice is we are each other's family. And what does
Yes.
family do? Well, what is family supposed to do? Support, teach, learn from each other,
Have fun with.
and have
Laugh at each other.
fun. Have fun, you know, hopefully. I see Donar going, because I was, did you have something you wanted to say?
Oh, you asked what family's supposed to do, and I said it depends on how southern you are. But
See all the mirth. See all the mirth. So I think that, but you said not being taken seriously. That's one of my fears because I have too much mirth, I think, at times. So yours is like an insecurity. Mine's an insecurity too, though, is I feel like that I have to really show that reverence because I've been known my whole life as the class clown and the fun person, and so I feel like that I need to be serious because I feel like I got to prove something, but I've learned to accept that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's turning out the way it's supposed to turn out.
Well, what we have to offer, both of us, is that we're fun to be around.
We're not fun to be around.
No, we're sticking the muds.
We're buzzkills.
Yeah.
That's the big
We're
complaint.
boring.
That's the big complaint we get in Circle, is that we're total buzzkills, and we're working on that. And please, if you guys out in our viewers have any tips on how me and Silenus could be more fun and let us know, then you can email us, and we'll give you that email later in a very serious way. But anyways, go ahead, continue.
And with that, we use it in our way of connecting and helping the humility, because we can all relate to something that we've done that makes us all remind us that, yeah, that was pretty dumb. And you can just laugh about it, and it's a way to connect and find a commonality that no one is on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on that same vein, it's something that when you're bringing newbies into the circle and they don't do something in textbook correctness, you get to be like, yeah, I know that you know, I'm this degree or whatever, but you know what I used to do?
Yeah.
I never got it right. It was always fail and hair well.
You fail and fare well. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what I'm trying to show as a high priestess to my coveners, is that just because I'm a high priestess, it doesn't mean, and from now on, no mistakes will be made. And I just said from now on. So I didn't even say that on purpose. That was an accident. I made a mistake in trying to prove my point. From now on.
It's like watching a third degree Sazerac over and over and over again.
Sazerac.
Yeah.
Sorry, Donar. Go ahead.
No, I was just trying to figure out why you did like a Dalek impression just now.
I know. Because whenever I think about people not making mistakes, they're robots to me. So I do a robot kind of.
You will
Fair
be
enough.
upgraded.
Okay.
Upgraded.
So, yeah, I think that was something that when we were in our the coven before this one, they were really loosey-goosey on using scripts. They really didn't care. And they were also like, you can throw the script out and do what comes natural. And so I try to balance that too. It's like, yeah, it's nice to have a structure, and sometimes the words have more power in them when you say them the way they should be said, but don't get hung up too much if it doesn't come out that way, because what happens is then the flow of energy that you're trying to put out there is interrupted because you feel bad that you screwed up. Sometimes you just got to keep going, and whatever comes, you know.
Intent is more powerful than words.
Does anyone have anything to say about that, or am I the only one that's going to talk?
And now she's muted. Are we unmuted?
We're unmuted now.
Okay.
You can talk.
Well, so yeah, I think what you're saying is that ritual is kind of like porn. The words don't matter so much. It's kind of the action.
So porn, it's not the script, it's the cinematography.
Yes.
Again, there is Mirth. Mirth? Oh my gosh!
Mirth.
There's Mirth and reference. Anyway,
Mirth and
how long
yes.
have we been recording? Anyway, anything you guys want to say before we wrap this up? Because, I mean, I do love the sound of my own voice, but no.
Honestly, I think we just picked a day when we're all very tired.
I know. But I just wanted everyone to see each other, and I also wanted to put something out this week because we don't have anything to put out this week. So
we had to reschedule our scheduled guests. So
we can talk about something else too. We can talk about wine. We can talk about.
Well, I was thinking that along with the like discussion on Mirth, we could discuss a little bit about, like, it was touched on a little bit that Zeus might not be as mirthy as certain other deities. For example, Pan or Hermes, they're going to be really much more mirthy because that's kind of what they're known for, and they're known for being tricksters to mess things up a little bit.
What do you think Dionysus is?
well, that's a different kind of
No,
mirth.
it's a different kind of mirth
I think that's one.
because it gets there's a dark side to it. There's a real raw, like, animalism that can flip slide over to a destruction. So that's why I think like Dionysus is neither. I don't think he's either mirth or reverence, but I also think he's both.
Well, he has moments. If you extend ritual, it's more the massive reverence, and to the extreme. But then you can also have your hyper mirth, which is your manic states.
Yeah.
And too much is too much. There is a reason for moderation. There's even times, where you're having too fun, but you lose the point and you have to pull back.
Yeah.
So there's a knowing how to balance out when it's appropriate and what and how much mirth to use. Sometimes you can crack a joke too many times and it stops being funny.
I find also that those of us who are very full of a lot of mirth tend to lean towards the darker, more serious God goddesses. I think again it's that balance. I know for me, I'm very much all about dark goddesses, and I'm sure that has a lot to do with keeping that balance within me. Because if I followed a god that was Mirth all the time, or a goddess that would, like, if I followed Balbo or Pan all the time or something, I don't feel I'd be able to focus and be able to like do what I'm supposed to do. So I need that. Wouldn't you agree?
Maybe that's what you're supposed to do if you're a follow Pam.
Yeah.
I don't know. Willow, you've got a smile on your face. What do you?
Well, you know, the Penelope part, dark. So yeah, I can see that.
I think that Danielle might be able to relate to this too, because her and I do a lot of dark goddess work. But I think you're Mirthy.
But you guys are both joyous and like
I think
laugh
you're Mirthy.
and
I can also be really dark and twisty, which makes a lot of sense being the one I'm dedicated to. So
True that.
But
let's go play in the flowers and then go sulk in the underworld.
but we find the humor in the dark. We that's some of the things that we find the most laughter.
I don't think it's humor. I think we find comfort and we can let ourselves just be and relax. Like we've talked about at Spring Mysteries, without giving away too much. The three women on this call right here have all been pretty relaxed during those parts of yeah. And we've all been like, all right. And again, it might be that we can keep that attitude of it's all relative, you know, and it's all relative, it's all related, it's all part of the cycle, it's all, you know, I know that when things get down, I know that I will look back on it and maybe laugh about some of it, or at least be able to have a sense of humor about it.
Well, a lot of times the sting goes out of it when you're finally able to laugh about it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if something goes on and it sucks for you, but if it happened to someone else, you can see the humor in it. It only becomes, you're able to move past it when you're able to look at it from that perspective and see why others are laughing at, you know, at the situation, not necessarily you. It just sucks that you're experiencing that, whatever's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that
when you're in it, you just can't see it until it's outside of your bubble.
Yeah. And that's how I deal with things too, because I always look at, like, I think of like really traumatic times in my life, and then the fact that I'm able to talk I can put a little humorous spin on it, means to me that I've healed quite a bit from it. And sometimes that helps with the healing, is being able to see like some of the ridiculousness in it. See, they're moving back and forth. Isn't that weird? Your guys' webcam is so weird.
It's shifting over to Donner, both you guys, and then back to
back, and they think we're making it up. They think we're having a back.
Because I'm on my phone, I don't see them. I just see the couch and the wall behind them.
Yeah.
Well, when you guys watch the video,
you'll see. You guys, it scans. Woo! But anyway, well, I think we're at
about 30 minutes.
We're at 30 minutes, so we're gonna wrap it up. I want to thank the Coven for joining me. I'm sorry that I made this really last minute, everyone. So everyone is a little tired and whatnot, but it's a good conversation, and I think we're entertaining enough that it doesn't matter.
Oh, people will laugh at us.
Oh, people laugh at us.
With us, at us.
With us, at us, behind us.
We're okay with that.
And we're totally
fine. You know what? We laugh at and with them too.
I didn't do the.
I was just gonna say that. We reciprocate.
I didn't do the disclaimer.
Oh, you know what?
It's too late.
Yeah, because if you have a problem with it, you've already clicked the X by this point.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Forgot to do the disclaimer. Anyways, so before we leave, if you have any questions, concerns, complaints, if you want to be a guest on our show, if you just want to know why we do what we do, then you can email us at, Danielle,
crossroadscoven@gmail.com.
what was that?
crossroadscoven@gmail.com.
Thank you so much for joining us for this special quarantine version of Witches and Wine.
Jump on Twitter.
Let's click and drink too. I forgot that about the wine part. How could I forget that? Remember, everyone, be kind to one another. Walk with the goddess. And until next time, blessed be. Bye, everybody.